The trading post on Kepler 442b hummed with the usual cacophony of interstellar commerce. Ambassador Zexthari of the Velkan Republic adjusted his crystalline breathing apparatus and watched the peculiar scene unfolding near the exotic goods section. A towering Gorvani merchant, easily 3 meters tall with skin like polished obsidian, was conducting business while a small bipedal creature sat quietly beside him. Fascinating specimen, Zexthari murmured to his aide, Pilot Kresh. What species is that diminutive being? Some sort of companion animal? Kresh consulted his datapad, mandibles clicking in confusion. Records indicate it's called a human ambassador. Apparently they're from a backwater system called Sol. The Gorvani claims it's his. Translation is unclear. Either partner or pet. The human, if that's what it was, appeared unremarkable. Standing barely 1.8 meters, it possessed no visible natural weapons, no protective carapace, no apparent technological augmentations. Its skin was a pale pink, covered partially by simple fabric. Most peculiar of all, it seemed completely relaxed in an environment where dozens of apex predators from across the galaxy conducted their affairs. Curious, Zexthari mused. The Velkan had encountered many servant species, but this one's behavior was oddly confident. It didn't cower or defer like most domesticated creatures. Instead, it watched everything with what could only be described as analytical interest. The Gorvani merchant Thrakvar completed his transaction and approached the Velkan delegation. Ambassador Zexthari, an honor. I trust you're finding suitable acquisitions? Indeed, Merchant Thrakvar, though I confess curiosity about your companion. Thrakvar's massive head turned toward the human, who had wandered over to examine a display of Altarian crystal formations. Marcus. Yes, he's unique. Found him on a frontier world. The humans were establishing some sort of colony there. It seems quite docile for a sentient species, Zexthari observed. Docile? Thrakvar's laugh rumbled like grinding stone. That's one perspective. Before the ambassador could inquire further, alarms began shrieking throughout the station. Emergency lights bathed everything in crimson as an automated voice echoed through the corridors. Code 7. Apex Predator Breach. All non-essential personnel to secure locations immediately. The trading floor erupted into controlled panic. Vendors sealed their stalls, customers drew weapons, and security forces mobilized. Through the main viewport, Zexthari could see the source of the alarm. A Zarathi hunter-killer had somehow breached the station's defenses. Zarathi were nightmare fuel across the galaxy. 3-meter-tall insectoid predators with razor-sharp appendages, acid blood, and a hunger that could never be satisfied. They were apex predators on their homeworld, and a single individual could clear an entire space station of life. Where's the nearest secure bunker? Zexthari demanded, his crystalline breathing apparatus fogging with stress. This way. Kresh pointed toward an emergency exit, but their path was blocked as the Zarathi smashed through a bulkhead, its compound eyes scanning for prey. Ichor dripped from its mandibles as it released a bone-chilling shriek. The massive creature immediately focused on the largest group of potential victims, the Velkan delegation. It began its attack approach, razor appendages extending when something impossible happened. The human walked forward, not ran, not stumbled in panic, walked calmly, directly toward the apex predator. Marcus, no! Thrakvar shouted, but the human raised a hand in a gesture that somehow conveyed both acknowledgement and dismissal. Zexthari watched in stunned disbelief as this unremarkable creature positioned itself between the Zarathi and the cowering aliens. The predator paused, tilting its head in what might have been confusion. Here was prey walking toward it voluntarily. Then Marcus did something that defied every xenobiological study Zexthari had ever read. He looked the Zarathi directly in its compound eyes and spoke in a voice that carried no fear, no aggression, only absolute certainty. No. The single word seemed to hang in the air like a physical force. The Zarathi's attack posture faltered. Its razor appendages retracted slightly. For the first time in Zexthari's memory, he witnessed an apex predator hesitate. Marcus took another step forward. You don't belong here, leave. The Zarathi's shriek this time was different, confused, almost plaintive. It backed up a step. Now, Marcus said, and there was something in his tone that spoke to evolutionary memories buried deep in every predator's brain. The recognition of something higher in the food chain, The impossible happened. The Zerathi, apex predator of its homeworld, terror of the galactic frontier, slowly lowered its head in what could only be described as submission. Then, moving almost carefully, it retreated through the breach it had created. Silence descended on the trading floor. Marcus turned around, brushing imaginary dust from his simple clothing, and walked back to Thrukvar as if nothing extraordinary had occurred. Sorry about that. Where were we? Zexthari found his voice first. What? That was impossible. Marcus glanced at him with those strange, forward-facing predator eyes that Zexthari was only now truly seeing. Was it? We've got a saying back home, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. But you have no claws. No natural weapons, no. Ambassador, Marcus interrupted gently. We didn't climb to the top of our food chain because we were the biggest or the strongest. We got there because we were the smartest, the most stubborn, and because we never learned when to quit. Every predator recognizes another predator, even when it doesn't look like one. Thrukvar's rumbling laugh filled the silence. Still think he's my pet, Ambassador? Zexthari looked at Marcus, really looked at him. The relaxed posture of something that had never met a threat it couldn't handle. The scanning eyes that missed nothing. The quiet confidence of a species that had fought its way to the stars. No, the ambassador whispered. I'm beginning to understand. The question isn't whether the human is your pet, Merchant Thrukvar. What's the question? Marcus asked with what might have been amusement. Zexthari's breathing apparatus clicked rapidly as a new and terrifying thought occurred to him. The question is, are we theirs?